Hello, my name is Voya and welcome to My Deep Guide, and Q&A time is here again. Let's start. To people having a Kaleido screen, what made you choose this screen? I find this device, Tab XC, gorgeous, but I feel that I would choose OLED or black and white e-ink device over Kaleido for every single use case I can think of. And I don't really have an answer to that question because I fall into the same category as you. I choose a monochromatic display over a Kaleido panel any day of the year. So I'm very interested to hear from Kaleido panel users, what is it that makes them go for this type of a panel and stay with that panel if they stay with that panel. There is one obvious, well, obviously the color, but there's the obvious aspect of that color, which is that with the front light kind of tuned in a good way, Tab XC, for example, can produce really pleasant newspaper-like type of a reading quality and colors, and that can be something that's actually pleasant for reading. So for reading magazines and that type of stuff, yeah, I definitely see it. But as soon as I would venture into anything else that is tablet-like, then the whole concept kind of starts falling apart because the Kaleido technology and the AiPaper technology is simply not made for that. So yeah, I'm also interested to hear the experiences and opinions of others on this topic. Which is better than to leave your bank account empty, Tab XC or Tab Note Max? Well, it really comes down to what your priorities are and what your preferences are. For me, it's no dilemma whatsoever. It's Note Max all the way. That is because I don't need colors and I don't want colors on my AiPaper display, and I do not want a front light on my AiPaper device. Therefore, the 300 ppi crisp, albeit somewhat darker and ghostier type of a panel that we have on Note Max is bar none the best AiPaper device that I have ever owned and used for me personally. Tab XC, on the other hand, is an absolutely fantastic device that I have zero interest or desire to use or own. However, if what you're looking for are colors, what you need is a front light and all that kind of stuff, well, then Tab XC makes more sense. Regarding Tab XC, bringing in a proprietary pen is bad enough, but making it irreplaceable if you lost or broke it is absurd. 1000% agree on that, because I really don't understand even how is this legal that Boox can actually launch a device with one of the most important elements for its functionality, the pen itself, that you can't buy a replacement. As of today, you can't just go online and buy a replacement. That is just a really strange type of a thing. And yeah, I would agree, it most definitely falls into the absurd category. Please, there is no time to watch 26 minutes to get 4 words about if it's good or not. Have you heard about the concept of chapters? Clicking a chapter and then maybe in the description down below, you click on a chapter, there's a timestamp, little blue numbers, you click on that and just magically transports you over to a chapter that's a shorter type of a thing. Try it, you might enjoy it. What is meant by you're going to spend that screen really quickly? Well, what is meant by that is that Dasung and Boox are not actually telling you how that improved frame rate is going to affect the life cycle or lifetime of your panel. This is something that I'm going to make a dedicated video on because I need to do research calculations and all the uber nerdy stuff about it. But what it means is that an e-ink panel has a finite life cycle of how many times the ink cells can be refreshed up and down. Yes, it counts in millions of times, which is more than plenty for normal type of use, what AiPaper displays or electrophoretic displays were actually designed to be in the first place. But right now we have Dasung and Boox trying to muscle out any way they can 30 frames per second out of this type of technology, but at what cost? Because a million cycles, for example, suddenly becomes far smaller of a unit if you're spending 30 of it every second. I love that you're formalizing e-ink display metrics in your testing so far. Which e-ink display device has the lowest reflectivity? For my personal taste, reflectivity is the greatest weak point in e-ink technology. I dream of a day when the reflectivity is as low as actual paper. Well, I don't know yet because I haven't tested out all of the devices. My intuition is that maybe it's going to be the Quaderno A4 Gen 2, but it remains to be seen. I do totally agree that the reflectivity characteristics, not just the intensity, but also how it diffuses it, how much glare there is, and all that kind of stuff, that's also a very, very important aspect, especially because a lot of these devices are going to spend, hopefully, a lot of time used outdoors, because that's what they are meant for, and that's where you can actually catch some pretty nasty glares if it's not done correctly. And that's why I don't really like, for example, Tab X, which suffers from really, really sharp and really, really intense reflections. But thankfully, Tab XC has addressed that in a really, really good way, because as you can see, yes, the reflections are there, but they are diffused very, very nicely. Would you do a follow-up review, please, as its current status? Many thanks. And this is in regards to the AiPaper tablet. And yes, I would do it, but I do not have a production device that is receiving the updates. The only device that I actually received was a pre-production unit or a prototype unit that is not receiving any updates at all. So since AiPaper has launched, the device that they've sent me hasn't received a single update. So in essence, yes, I want to, but I can't. Voya, do you have a stylus recommendation for Note Max? What styluses are compatible? Any Wacom EMR stylus is going to be compatible with the Note Max. The one that I'm personally using is the Kindle Scribe Premium pen. I really, really love this pen, and since I've gotten it, I've been using it basically on all of the devices, and with Note Max, I find it to be an excellent, excellent pairing. Hi, I'm wondering how different the black and white version is. Do you think that the text would be clearer in the black and white version? Thanks for any advice. And this is in regards to the Dasung Paperlike 25-inch computer monitor. And yes, there is going to be a very, very significant difference in clarity between the black and white version and the Kaleido version, simply because the Kaleido version is using a CFA, or color filter array type of technology, printed layer of RGB color strips on top of all of the content always present. And that's not only going to give you a darker type of content constantly and tinted, but it's also going to create this kind of fuzziness type of an effect, which is something that I'm particularly not a fan of. And when you couple that with the very, very low PPI resolution of that screen, that amounts to not a good time and not good readability with small content. So yes, you can enlarge the fonts and then it's going to be fine. But if we're talking about medium to smaller type of content, the monochromatic version or the black and white version is always going to be crisper and sharper than the Kaleido version. This is in regards to Tab XC. Great review as always. Just one question: when you said you are not okay with the darkness effect that comes with having a Kaleido color layer, but the Boox Note Max also suffers from this darkness, well, not this darkness, a darkness, even though it has no color layer, obviously, as shown in so many other side-by-side videos. Can you please do a side-by-side screen comparison between the Note Max and the Boox Go 10.3, or maybe another Carta 1300 screen like Super Note Manta? Thank you. If you compared Note Max to other monochromatic devices, yes, there is going to be a difference in the brightness itself, and actually you can already see it, or you will see it depending on the scheduling and when this video comes out. But I've already made a video and scheduled a video where I'm measuring Note Max whiteness to, for example, Tab X, which would be a perfect one-to-one type of measurement, 13.3-inch Boox device, previous generation, next generation. And absolutely, Tab X is brighter. And I do the calculations by how much. However, the thing is that the Kaleido screen and the CFA layer on the Kaleido screen is a whole other league of darkness and tintness than what you can actually expect to see on a Note Max. So yes, Note Max is a bit darker than Tab X, which is one of the brighter devices that I've seen, but it's nowhere near as dark as the Tab XC. If you like the work that I do and you would like to support that independence in work, you can head on over to mydeepguide.com/shop, where you can find high-quality e-paper and template products for your e-paper devices. MDO, or My Daily Organizer, is a workbook to help you organize all of your personal or professional yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily needs. And it is a completely interlinked workbook, making it an extremely powerful addition to any of your e-paper devices. MMP, or My Deep Guide Meeting Planner, is also a hyperlinked workbook focused on helping you simplify, centralize, and organize all of your meeting planning needs, allowing you seamless navigation between different meetings from the meeting index page, and with each meeting having the ability to have individual agenda and notes. You can also find My Deep Guide Curated Templates, which is a collection of very carefully crafted notebook templates. What makes MDG Curated Templates different, all of them are pixel perfect for the device screen size that you are using them on. This is why there are so many different variations, so that you can choose the one that fits your device perfectly. These templates also maintain a universal 8mm line spacing standard and 4mm grid spacing standard. Purchasing any of these products will enhance your productivity and simplify your organization. You also directly support independence of My Deep Guide. I hope that you liked the video. If you do have some more questions or sub-questions to the things that were addressed in today's Q&A video, please do remember to post them down as comments in this or one of the other Q&A videos, because that's the easiest way for me to find them when collecting questions for future Q&A videos. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye!